Come on an exciting journey with us to find Canada's hidden gems. Picture emerald green rivers and bridges hanging from the trees. Our trip is all about the hidden and the unexpected. We're on the hunt for Canada's hidden treasures, from ancient whispers to current mysteries. For a trip into the heart of the secret, stay tuned, interact, and subscribe. As the leaves began to take on their fiery hues and the chill of the changing season whispered through the trees, an otherworldly event took hold of the Goldstream River in British Columbia. Imagine that you are in a fiction book, and the calm waters suddenly come to life and swirl in a beautiful dance of emerald light. The river, which flows through a green forest and provides life for many plants and animals, looked magical, and a crowd of amazed people gathered by its banks. The green light that made the forest look like it was made of air wasn't caused by fairies or magic. People got into trouble when they let a prankster's mixture of fluorescent dye into the moving parts of the river. People stood in awe of this bright show for hours as the river revealed secrets not in whispers, but in a loud shout. But in this strange and short chapter, we are told how our actions change nature. The sudden change in the river was very different from how clean it usually is. It made people talk and think about our responsibility to protect the environment. Even though the joke was meant to be harmless, it led to a bigger story. A story about the delicate balance between human creation and the natural world's inherent fragility. We were given a mirror to look at our actions in, showing us how important it is to live in balance with the ecosystems we live in and affect. This event at Goldstream River quickly faded into local legend, leaving behind not only the memory of a brightened river, but also a question about our duty to the earth, which guides our steps on the path to environmental awareness. Imagine being right on the edge of the busy city, where the heartbeat of Vancouver gives way to an engineering wonder tucked away in the arms of nature. The Capilano suspension bridge is a thin thread of human creativity that winds through the Canadian forest. It feels like excitement is in the air here, and the bridge, which is a winding path high above the forest floor, calls out to the brave and stirs the soul. When you walk across the Capilano suspension bridge, you enter a story that is suspended in the air. It is an exciting story, and each sway tells of the many brave feet that have crossed it. It's like walking through the clouds, with the dizzying heights and the peaceful call of the old earth below. As you walk across the bridge, you can feel a link that goes back in time. On the cables and ropes holding up this swaying path, you can hear the voices of dreamers and explorers who have traveled it. There is more to this crossing than meets the eye. It is a rite of passage, a test of courage, and a chance to see the world from a spot that combines the wild's raw beauty with the bravery of human creation. The Capilano suspension bridge in the middle of Vancouver is more than just a tourist draw. It's a bridge between worlds, where the rush of being high up meets the calm embrace of the forest. Take a trip through the whispered secrets of the past to the rough badlands of Alberta. This is a place where time has carved the earth into a huge painting of striated rock and broken earth. The mummified remains of a hadrosaur have been found in this area of geological poetry, where the sounds of ancient giants can still be heard on the land. This young dinosaur is a fossil from 75 million years ago, a time that is now lost to history. It now sits there like a natural time capsule. Its remarkably well-preserved shape gives not just a glimpse, but a lively entrance into the Cretaceous period, letting scientists and dreamers alike look into a world from long ago. The hadrosaur's scales, bones, and shape all tell a story of surviving, of times that people have never heard of, and of the delicate dance between life and death. As you stand in front of the hadrosaur, you can almost hear the thumps of its relatives' feet, feel the shadow of wings above you, and feel the pulse of a world full of life in all its most dangerous and magnificent forms. This amazing protection is like a siren's call to people who are naturally curious and want to learn more about the mysteries of our planet's long history. In Alberta's badlands, the ancient and the endless meat still held in the earth's embrace and telling stories from a time when these prehistoric giants were kings. A warning message is carved into the ground in the historic town of Sault Ste. Marie, where the noise of industry has died down. The remains of a fish sauce plant that used to be very busy are a memorial to a bygone era of the food industry. This business is now just a ghostly skeleton that gives off a stark reminder of what's left behind when people have stopped working. The air around this abandoned spot is thick with the strong smell of fish, which used to mean busyness and the magic of cooking. As these pieces seep into the waterways, they tell a different story. They tell a story of neglect and the damage that industrial growth does to the environment. In this story, nature has to swallow up the remains of human carelessness, and it bears the scars of this heritage. What was once meant to please the taste buds is now a stark reminder of how business leaves a lasting mark. The factory in Sault Ste. Marie is a quiet reminder that the effects of our work are still felt in the air and water even after the last bottle is sealed and the last shipment is sent. These effects are connected to nature in ways that require our attention and action. In the quiet parts of Earth's prehistoric history, an amazing find has been made, like finding a figure from a long-lost epic. Scientists have found an impressive skull in the embrace of the old Earth. Time has shaped its teeth to be ready for the cruel act of predation. This preserved wonder is both huge and mysterious, and it has added a new mystery to the history of evolution. This behemoth's head, which is almost as big as a human's, hides secrets inside its bones, a powerful reminder of how different life has always been. The huge teeth, which are now still and quiet, used to whisper death to prey that didn't hear them in a world that no longer exists. Scientists today are amazed by this relic, a ghostly hunter from an endless past, because its family tree doesn't match up with any known species. The paleontological community is getting more and more excited as each granule of nearby Earth is brushed away. The historians who are studying it hope to find out the stories that this dangerous animal used to tell, stories that have been locked away for a very long time behind its hard eyes. For now, the skull is just a mysterious symbol of a time that people are still trying to understand. It's a mysterious piece in the long story of life on Earth. The retreating embrace of ancient ice has uncovered an amazing chapter in the story of our planet's history. Jur, a young guardian from a time long since past, lies here. She has been stuck in time for over 57,000 years. As the ice melts, the frozen wolf pup comes out. It has been preserved for all these years and has not changed at all. The name Jur comes from the wild history of her kind. She gives us a unique and personal look into the Pleistocene, a time when her ancestors walked the land that would become the Yukon. Her short body, which is just over 40 centimeters long, tells a sad story of a life cut short but kept in the most perfect way possible. The wolf pup, a female, spent her last moments in what used to be a den, but now it was falling apart, and she died. Her mother, who was probably looking for food, was probably roaming the ancient woods. The finding of Jur is more than just a scientific achievement. It's also a moving reminder of a world that was and a sign of the ecological changes that are happening in our world right now. Paleontologists are carefully uncovering the story of Jur. It tells us about the strong connections between the Earth's weather patterns and the living things that adapt to them. These stories about Canadian wonders, which are full of both beauty and danger, are just a small part of the world's story. We want you to think about these stories and share your own links to the amazing things in nature and the whispers of history. Talk to us, leave comments, and if you feel the urge to learn more, join our community by subscribing to our channel.